In a small village in the East Blue called Fuchsia Village, there lived a little boy with black hair and his adopted father. They had lived there since the boy was born. The boy's name was Monkey D. Luffy, and he had a big dream. He wanted to become a pirate and sail all over the world. His dad didn't mind this dream. In fact, before adopting Luffy, his dad used to be the first mate of the most legendary pirate in the world, Gul D. Roger. His dad's name was Silver's Rayleigh. When Luffy was 5 years old, he asked Rayleigh to train him. Luffy said he wanted to become strong enough to beat Whitebeard, the world's strongest man. Rayleigh laughed, but he agreed to train him. Every day they trained together. Luffy learned how to fight with swords, how to fight without weapons, and how to use all 3 types of hockey. By the time Luffy turned 7, he was already a master at sword fighting and hand-to-hand combat. He had also learned how to use all 3 hockeys like a pro. One day after training, Luffy and Rayleigh went to the village bar. When they walked in, they saw a group of pirates, but they didn't care and went in anyway. Rayleigh took off his hood and walked up to the bar with Luffy. As they sat down, a man with red hair started talking to Rayleigh. It was Shanks, an old friend. While the 2 grown-ups talked, Luffy got bored and started walking around the bar. Behind the counter, he found a wooden box. Like any curious kid, he opened it and saw a strange-looking fruit inside. He didn't know what it was, so he picked it up and ate the whole thing. It was a devil fruit. After eating it, Luffy's stomach started to hurt. He asked Rayleigh to take him home, but Rayleigh was drunk and told him to go by himself. Luffy got upset and stormed out of the bar. As he walked home through the woods, he heard one of the pirates shout that someone had stolen their devil fruit, but Luffy didn't think much of it. Suddenly, a huge tiger jumped out from the trees and attacked him. Luffy got into his fighting stance and knocked the tiger out using Haoshoku Haki. He felt weak afterward, but kept walking toward his house. On the way, he heard 2 boys talking about buying a ship and becoming pirates. Luffy tried to sneak away, but one of the boys heard him. They chased after him, thinking he was spying on them. But when they caught up, Luffy didn't run. He stood ready to fight. The boys attacked, but Luffy dodged and knocked them out with a chop to their necks. Then he picked them up and carried them to his house so they could rest. When Luffy got close to his house, he started feeling weak and passed out on the ground. The next morning, he woke up in his bed. Rayleigh had carried him inside and laid the 2 boys down too. Luffy went to the kitchen and saw that Rayleigh had made breakfast for all 3 of them. As Luffy started eating, the 2 boys woke up and apologized for trying to hurt him. They told him their names, Portgas D. Ace and Sabo. Luffy forgave them and invited them to eat with him. They sat at the table and talked about their dream to become pirates and find the One Piece. Then, they asked Luffy to join their crew. He said yes, and went to grab some of Rayleigh's hidden sack to celebrate. Right as he found the bottle, Rayleigh came in and saw Luffy. He asked Ace and Sabo to go home for the night. Then, he asked Luffy to walk outside with him. Outside, Rayleigh pulled out his sword and told Luffy to grab his weapon. Luffy picked up his katana and got ready. Rayleigh didn't attack. He just waited. After 2 hours, Luffy finally rushed at him. Rayleigh dodged, but Luffy stabbed his leg, making him fall to one knee. Luffy tried to help him up, but Rayleigh punched him in the stomach and sent him flying. Luffy got up and ran back, but passed out before he could reach Rayleigh. Rayleigh carried him inside and put him back to bed. The next day, Luffy felt different, stronger. He went into the village looking for Ace and Sabo, but instead found the pirate crew from the bar. He asked if they had seen the boys, but they said no. Then, another pirate crew walked up and challenged Shanks to a fight. Shanks accepted. The battle started, and Luffy joined in. He fought the enemy captain, but the man landed a cheap shot. Luffy got angry and punched him, and suddenly the pirate turned into a frozen statue. Luffy was surprised but felt powerful. He had a new ability. Shanks invited Luffy to join his crew, but Luffy said no. He wanted to find Ace and Sabo. From a rooftop, the 2 boys had seen the whole thing. Later, the 3 boys went into the jungle to build a boat. There, they ran into the Blue Jam pirates, who had come to take Sabo back to his noble family. Sabo refused, so Luffy and Ace stepped in. They challenged Blue Jam's crew to a fight. If they lost, they would die. But Luffy didn't need to fight much. He used his Haoshoku Haki and knocked out the whole crew. The boys ran back to Luffy's house, but when they arrived, Rayleigh was gone. Luffy broke down and cried. After a while, the 3 boys wiped their tears and decides to left the empty house. Luffy left Fuchsia Village at 17 with his katana, mastery of all 3 types of Haki, and the power of the Ice Fruit. He met Zoro in Shell's town, where he froze the locks on Zoro's chains and broke them with a flick of his finger. After defeating Captain Morgan using both swordsmanship and his freezing powers, Zoro joined him. In Orange Town, Luffy met Nami during a fight with Buggy. He froze Buggy's cannonballs and shattered them, then trapped Buggy in a block of ice after a short fight. Nami, impressed but cautious, joined temporarily. In Syrup Village, Luffy helped Usopp stop Kuro by freezing the path of the Black Cat pirates and knocking Kuro out cold with a combination of ice and hockey. Usopp joined the crew. At the Baratie, Luffy fought Don Krieg and shattered his steel armor with freezing punches and sword strikes. Sanji joined after Zeph encouraged him to chase his dream. In Arlong Park, Luffy froze the tower, broke through it, and used his powers to trap Arlong and destroy his weapons. Nami officially joined the crew afterward. In Logetown, Luffy clashed briefly with Smoker, freezing the ground to slow him down, and escaped with the help of Dragon. They entered the Grand Line and reached Drum Island, where Luffy froze Wapple's cannons and fought his way to Chopper's castle. Chopper joined the crew after they stopped Wapple. In Alabasta, Luffy reunited with Ace briefly and used his ice powers to weaken Crocodile's sand body, helping his crew take down Baroque Works. Robin joined the crew after offering her help. In Skypiea, Luffy battled Enel, whose lightning attacks were ineffective against his ice. Luffy redirected the lightning into a frozen gold bell tower and knocked Enel out with a hockey-infused strike. After leaving Skypiea, the crew went to Water 7. When CP9 took Robin, Luffy froze the sea train tracks and skated across them to Eni's lobby. He fought Rob Lucci using both his ice powers and sword skills, ultimately defeating him and rescuing Robin. Frankie helped them build a stronger ship and joined the crew. After traveling through Thriller Bark, where Luffy froze Oar's joints during the battle, they reached Sabaody Archipelago. The crew was scattered by Kuma, and Luffy landed on Amazon Lily. When he learned Ace had been captured, he rushed to Impel down, freezing the prison gates and floors to make his way down. He fought through levels using ice to neutralize Magellan's poison briefly, though he was still nearly killed. He was saved by Ivankov and escaped with Jinbei, Crocodile, and others. At Marineford, Luffy arrived during Ace's execution. He froze cannonballs in the air, blocked Akainu's magma with layered ice walls, and shattered Ace's chains with a precise icy strike. Ace, now freed, joined the fight at Luffy's side, unleashing his fire powers alongside Luffy's ice. Together, the brothers overwhelmed Marines with a deadly combination of flame and frost. Akainu was injured, the battlefield was torn apart by firestorms and ice pillars, and the tides of war turned. When Shanks arrived and called for peace, the brothers didn't wait. Luffy froze the air beneath them to launch skyward, and Ace used his fire to propel them even farther. Together, they escaped Marineford and disappeared into the horizon, with Ace still alive and the world forever changed.